bringing us that great news this morning. All right, so continuing to talk about things that are happening here in central Iowa, we brought in an expert from the Iowa DNR, Kim Bogenschutz, if I said
That's
that correct.
correct.
All right, thank you so much. We're talking about invasive species and how we want to make sure we're not transporting those to various parts of the state. Kind of give us a rundown of what you're talking about.
So with the Memorial Day weekend coming up, you know, really busy boating time.
Lots of fishing.
Lots of fishing. And so aquatic invasive species are things that we don't want here in Iowa. And unfortunately, people spread them from lake to lake. And so we want people to know what they are and how to prevent their spread. And so that's a big part of what
we want to keep the crappies, we want to keep the bass, right? We want to keep the bluegill.
Right. We don't want zebra mussels. No. We don't want big-head or silver carp.
I was going to say, so what are we talking about when we're talking about invasive species?
So we're talking about, they can be plants and they can be animals, but they're things that aren't native to Iowa, or they're not supposed to be here, and once they do get here, they cause problems.
And they just multiply.
They just multiply. They take over, they dominate, they cause us lots of problems. So there's things like Eurasian water milfoil, brittle naiad, zebra, which those are plants, zebra mussels, the Asian carp, the bighead and silver carp, the ones that jump out of the water.
Right, those are really kind of funny, right? You're driving a boat and they're trying to take you out.
How are we transporting those?
Well, those can actually swim on their own, so they swim up rivers until they hit like a dam or something that stops them. But they could also be people who collect their own bait and being able to identify what they have, and so you take your bait from one water
to another.
And then it just instead of
there's the picture of them.
I was going to say, I know we have a bunch of images to show you, and you're just going to kind of have to describe what we're seeing on screen. But let's talk.
They just take over. They take over a lake.
Right. So this is actually near Rathbun. So and these are silver carp, and I talk about, and these, the big head and the silver carp. The big heads can get to be up to 100 pounds.
Oh my!
So really big, but the silvers, I say, if they're 5 to 10 pounds, that's like a bowling ball that's going to come and smack you.
That's right.
Because
and they eat a lot.
They do eat a lot. They filter water, and that's how they get their food. But so the amount of food that they're filtering to get to be 100 pounds. And then that's just taking food away from our native fish.
From the good fish
From the good fish that we want. Exactly.
What are we seeing here?
So this is actually curly leaf pondweed. It's another one of the plant species. And as you can see, it just kind of grows and takes over. So, people obviously don't want to swim in that, but it's hard to boat and fish.
Gets caught in the
There it is, right there.
It is. So that's the problems it causes, but then that's how it can be transported. If you pull out of the lake and have all that hanging off your boat and trailer, and then go somewhere else, you could be
You're infecting it.
You're infecting it. You're transporting it. You're moving it. You're creating whole new problems somewhere else.
With those fish that jump, let's say, and they're so ubiquitous, they multiply so fast. How in the world can you ever reverse that thing that someone has accidentally introduced? Can you reverse it?
Sometimes. Right now, no. Like right now, there's nothing that would kill the big head of the silver carp that would
kill everything
would not
else?
kill everything else. Right. So there's really amazing research scientists who are working on things for that. Also ways to kill zebra mussels, because right now we don't have any ways to kill them.
Those just go rampant.
They go crazy too. Yeah.
Again,
they just
they're taking oxygen. There they are.
There they are. And right there, so they're on a native mussel or a clam that we want to have. But they build up on top of them, and
then like a parasite.
And they can't filter water to get oxygen or food, and they die. But then they also get on our boats and docks and rocks.
Barnacles, kind of some barnacles. Now what do we have here?
So those are more zebra mussels, and they're actually on a fishing pole that was on the bottom of the lake.
My word.
So you can't even really see that.
So those zebra mussels are very, very, very small, but they multiply fast.
But they multiply fast. And there you can see there's an adult on the rock, and then there's 4 juveniles, babies, right on it. So they just build up on top of each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're introducing you to things to watch out for, but the main thing is we don't want to transport those. So what are your main suggestions to make sure we are not transporting?
Right. So there's just 3 words: clean, drain, and dry. So you just need to make sure that once you come out of a lake or a river, that you clean everything off of your boat and trailer and equipment. All plants, all mud, because you could be transporting plants, and drain all the water. When those zebra mussels are small, they float in the water.
That's right, super small, can't see them.
So if you have water in your live well or in your bilge well and don't drain that and take it somewhere else, you could be spreading them. So so clean everything off, drain all of the water. In fact, that's the law. You have to do those 2 things before you leave. And then before you go to another lake, let all your stuff dry out, or if you want to go right away, pressure, power, hot water, wash it all off.
All right, so clean, drain, and dry. Keep that in mind. Kim, if people want more information, is there a place they can go with the Iowa DNR?
Yep, go to the Iowa DNR website, iowadnr.gov/AIS, aquatic invasive species.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us this morning. Some great information, and hopefully you're keeping that in mind as you're out and enjoying a Memorial weekend. We'll be right back and catch you up with some sports news with Larry Kotler coming up next on CWI Live on KCWI Channel 23.